14 players scored 30 or more last night. That was one shy of the all-time record. We had 3 players with 29 points. So we got so very close. So far this season, 7 players averaging at least 30. You can see them all here. It is Luka, Steph, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jason Tatum, and Kevin Durant. That would be the most in a season in NBA history. And where is that leading us up to? Well, funny you ask. Scoring. It is up throughout the entire league. NBA teams are averaging 112.6 points per game this season, which is on pace to be the most in a single season since the NBA-ABA merger. That was 46 years ago. So I want to bring our entire panel into this conversation. Richard Jefferson, I don't know if you can see his shoes, but they're pretty fly. Janae Agumake, Zach Lowe, Kendrick Perkins are going to be joining us in just a minute, along with Brian Windhorst. I mean, early returns on the season. Let's just start there, Rich.
It has been amazing to watch. There's been so much quality basketball across the board, and there's some young names on that list too.
Yes, sir.
My young guy Ben Mathurin, like Lauri Markkanen. There are guys that you weren't expecting to see this, but there's been so many things. The take foul, Brian Windhorst talked about that. Honestly, I think players also are starting to get to a space of, like, think about all the condensed seasons you had for 3 years. We had for 3 years covering it. So I think now that people can get normal off seasons and can get their normal rest, I think you're seeing the quality of play increase.
Let's narrow the focus just a little bit, because we had so much great basketball just last night. What stood out to you there?
Yeah, you were and we were covering the Battle of LA. We had the Battle of New York. There were a lot of great storylines, but one that tends to fly under the radar, I don't know how they do that, but the reality is it's the Milwaukee Bucks, because no Drew Holiday, no Giannis Antetokounmpo. Hear that, Zach Lowe, and the Milwaukee Bucks in double overtime get the win over Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who, mind you, by the way, was one of those guys you pointed with over 30 points. So the Bucks are just flying under the radar as the real championship contenders this season.
Rich?
What about the Nuggets? Can we talk about the Nuggets?
Let's do it.
Can we talk about the Nuggets a little bit? Just because.
Give me a nugget on the Nuggets.
No, but look, for 2 straight years, it was about their injuries. And yes, they had the MVP coming out of the bubble. They were so impressive, and there was so much, hope for the future. And then just the injury after injury. But now they got the MVP. He's balling. His team is playing well. They're starting to get a little bit of a rhythm, so the Western Conference should watch out.
Zach Lowe, what do you think? What were you watching last night?
The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Woof.
Oh, my God. Now, credit to the Phoenix Suns, who show up without Jay Crowder, without Cam Johnson, without Chris Paul. They don't care. They just lay the smack down. But the Minnesota Timberwolves are so discombobulated on both ends of the floor. It's almost incredible. You saw D'Angelo Russell just not check into the game. Like, I'm cool. I'm going to let you guys play 4-on-5. Anthony Edwards passed Karl Anthony Towns the ball out of bounds by like 5 feet. Karl Anthony Towns just ran out of bounds. The offense is clunky. The defense is confused. I can't believe how discombobulated they look. We knew it was going to take a long time, but they're 5-7, and they just look completely lost, and they got to fix it soon.
Don't worry. Hopefully, Richard Jefferson is going to have some answers a little later in the show on how they can fix it just a little bit. Perk, take us home here. What were you looking at last night?
Well, can I be a homer for a second, as
for
expected?
A second, bro.
And let's talk about the Celtics.
Second.
Always. Let's talk about the Celtics, right, and the Jays. And I ain't talking about the ones you put on your feet. I'm talking about Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, who is the best duo in the NBA, and they proved that last year. Yes, they didn't win the NBA championship, but we saw them at least get to the finals. And what they're doing right now, with everything that has been going on in the Celtics organization, their leadership skills, Jason Tatum averaging a 30-piece plus, Jaylen Brown 25 plus, but I'm looking at how they're mixing it up with the camaraderie, with how they're going about it, and they're going out there and handling business right now. So when I look at JT and JB, yes, they will be all-stars this season, but they're looking like a team that's on a mission to complete the mission that they didn't do last season. It's a beautiful thing to see, and I don't know, and it's not one yet. They have a lot of dangerous duos, but this is the best duo in the NBA right now as we speak.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.